Good evening, everybody. It's Monday night, and I'm here tonight to talk about 3 programs to organize photos on your Mac. Now, 2 of these you will actually be able to use on a PC. And if you do have questions about how this relates to using a Windows computer, you can definitely leave it in the comments. But we're here tonight because we had Chris Y mention in one of the videos on YouTube asking to compare 3 programs, Apple Photos and Mylio and Adobe Lightroom. So that's my goal tonight, is just to touch upon these 3 programs and give you my quick insights as to the differences and which one I like the best. So before we head into looking at these programs, I'm going to ask you to bear with me. I have 2 computers going here, as well as, well, 3 programs to juggle as I give you a quick introduction to each of them. Now, before we dive in, I want to just mention that my name is Molly Bartelt. If you haven't seen me here before, I'm the owner of Pixology and a photo estate planner. And boy, do we come across questions about how to manage digital pictures, whether you're a PC user, a Mac user, or maybe you don't use computers at all. It's really a journey, and we've been around for 8 years trying to help people figure it out. So one of the things that I'm working on right now is some market research. Let me just put a little slide up here, because this is a really big part of my life right now. The past 2 weeks and probably going into the rest of this week, I'm conducting phone interviews over Zoom, trying to figure out what are the challenges that are holding people back from moving forward on organizing their pictures. I've heard from quite a few people already, and a lot of the concern is where to start. And some people are dealing with printed pictures, some people with digital, and a lot have both. So I'm looking for people who would be interested in being interviewed, and it takes about 15-20 minutes. Unless you really like to talk a lot about the challenges you're having, then it might take half hour. But I'm trying to dive deep into solving this dilemma of getting people's pictures organized, because we want to enjoy them today, share them with the people that we love, and we also want to make sure that our photos are around for future generations. So it's not easy. If you're interested, definitely leave a comment in the chat area. If you're on Facebook, you can do that there, on YouTube in the comments area. And then if you're catching this after it has broadcast, leave it there. I do follow those comments and try to follow up. It's a simple link that I'll give to you to schedule an appointment on my calendar, and we'll get it done. So I really appreciate that. Photo organizing, market research. Really, this is a dilemma that we just haven't felt like we've made an impact enough yet. So thanks for checking it out, and share it with your friends and family if you know someone who's in a situation where they just can't get going on saving those pictures. All right, so again, we're here tonight to talk about 3 programs to organize pictures. And all 3 of these programs I have reviewed a little more in depth on our YouTube channel. So you'll want to check it out there under the digital photo organizing options section. And tonight, I'm just going to kind of compare 3 right in a row. So it is a little bit high level, and I'll have a chart at the end to kind of summarize it all. Okay, so the first program is Adobe Lightroom, and I'm going to attempt to share my computer here. So let me just bring this on. And wouldn't you know it, technology always gets us. So I was loading up Adobe Lightroom along with the other 2 programs to actually be able to share a live demonstration of it. And for whatever reason, my streaming software will not let me show Lightroom in full action. So I'm bringing up a screenshot here, okay? And I'm hoping you can kind of just follow along. On the left-hand side, we have what I always like to call is the navigation panel. A lot of photo organizing programs have these options on the left-hand side that are really related to how you're looking at your pictures. So in this demo that I have, if you can see all photos on the left-hand side, it looks like I have 142 pictures in Adobe Lightroom here, and I could look at them by date. If I hit the little arrow there, I could actually sort it by year and look by year. If I clicked on people, I would be able to, actually, I'm going to show you. Lightroom does have facial recognition, which is really, really helpful. And I like facial recognition because it makes it easier to identify, who's important in your photo collections. It actually recognizes when people have a lot of photos of the same person, and that can make it really easy. So we're gonna stop sharing this screen, and I'm gonna share a different one here that shows that facial recognition. And here we come. And no, that's not it. Give me 1 second. This is like a good, here we go. Of course, you have to click more than one time to get what you want. So here we have the view by people. All right, so you can see my wonderful husband I labeled, and that's the rest of my family there. And it's just waiting for me to add the names. I really like facial recognition, and the 3 programs we're talking about tonight do have it. So that's cool. Now, I want to go back 1 screen to show you the albums view. I always feel like your photo organizing program should be able to organize by albums or folders. And there's one key area here that is a concern for me. And so I'm going to just share this screen here again. And you got me for a quick second, but I'm going to bring up what I want to show you here. When you click on the albums, if you look down the left-hand panel here, like the navigation panel, like I said, I have selected 2010s family photos. So that's kind of like a folder, and it's holding 3 albums inside of it. That's cool. You have the folder, which can hold a common theme. So the 2010s family photos folder is holding 3 albums, 2016, 2018, and 2019, a trip that we took. What I don't like about this is I can't see the albums as a whole across the the main part of the screen, and I really like to see my albums like a thumbnail, so I know that it visually is just more appealing to me, and you'll see that in the next 2. So Adobe Lightroom is not my favorite for working with folders and albums. I just don't think it tells the story of my life, my family's life, as easily as some of the others that we're going to look at. So one thing that people do, want to know is that you can add tags and metadata. You can do that in Adobe Lightroom. And you can also back it up to Adobe's Creative Cloud. So that is something that is an option. I like for people to have a copy in their house and outside of their house, so you're double protected. Now, the cost of Adobe Lightroom is related to subscribing to a photo plan through Creative Cloud. It costs between $10 and $20 a month. And for people who like to integrate it with other Adobe products like Photoshop, this might be useful. And I have heard that people don't like to have a monthly subscription fee, but honestly, it seems like everything's just going that way. So we have to, kind of consider that. With Adobe Lightroom, in order to back it up to the cloud, to Creative Cloud, that is Adobe's cloud storage service, you do have to make sure you have enough space. And the cloud storage options are 20 gigabytes or 1 terabyte. And that's somewhat how the difference between $10 to $20 per month works. 20 gigabytes would not hold my photo collection. I have about 20,000 pictures, and it's a lot. It's probably closer to 45 gigabytes or 50. So that's something to think about. All right, so that's a little bit about Adobe Lightroom. I'm going to just check. We've got 2 comments. And I want to just say hi to Chris. Thank you so much for joining tonight. This was your question, so I'm hoping this will be helpful. Definitely leave questions below if I haven't hit anything. And Stephanie Bailing joined us as well. Hi back to you. So, all right. We are going to move on to Apple Photos. So this is the second option for Mac. And Apple Photos is something that I actually enjoy using. So let's just share this screen and bear with me. There it is. Okay, and we're going to want to see this full on. So again, this layout is similar to Lightroom in that you have the left navigation panel and different ways to view your pictures. So here, what I want you to notice is on the left-hand panel, you have Albums, and then you have My Albums. I'm going to double click on that. This is where I get the view of all of my folders and the albums within it, okay? So on the screen here, you can see I have either squares or a square with 4 smaller squares in it, okay? The big squares are albums. And then if you see 4 small squares, those are folders holding albums. And I feel like now I can see my life at a glance from, well, the 1970s is when I was born. Then it goes all the way through when I had kids, and then the 2020s. And then we have a few odds and ends folders in there, okay? So I really like how Apple Photos works. And if you need this to, if you need help on figuring out getting your Apple Photos program to look like this, you're gonna definitely want to check out my tutorials on it, because I go in depth on that. The people feature in Photos is nice too. It automatically identifies people for you, and you can go and confirm. And you can also edit the metadata in the Photos app as well. So when you click on a picture and you select or hit the keys Command and I, the screen, well, and it's actually not showing on my larger screen here. That's interesting. So you can see the information when you select Command plus I. And we're going to just see if I can adjust this a little bit so that you see that, because the way that gives you information is actually quite handy. So I have to stop the screen, and I'm going to share something a little bit bigger. So you're going to see a couple things here. Don't be alarmed. Here we go. There is that info, the info for your photo. And I can add a caption and a keyword. So sometimes programs call them tags, and sometimes people call them captions. So Command I gets you there. And you can also work with changing the dates of photos. If you have that issue, you go to Image and adjust date and time. I feel like the Photos app is actually pretty robust. The Lightroom wasn't as easy to get to editing the metadata, but maybe that's because I've used Photos so much more than Lightroom. this is really a good point. I'm going to put myself back on the main screen here, because whatever program you choose, you have to use it consistently and routinely so that you remember the tips and tricks of using it, where you were at, and what you've accumulated since then. So I really stress use your program routinely. And that's probably why I'm more comfortable with Photos than Lightroom. But I tell you that Albums and Folders view really is a deal killer for me for Lightroom. So let's just go back to sharing this one last time, I think. Do I want to show you anything else about that? Well, we've talked about facial recognition on Apple Photos. Apple Photos backs up to iCloud. So your Apple ID connects your phone to iCloud and your computer to iCloud if you're using the same Apple ID on all of your devices and you've turned on the iCloud feature. And it's really handy. Now, you only get 5 gigabytes free of storage in iCloud. So like me with a huge photo collection, that wouldn't work. The cloud storage itself does cost, it's 99 cents for 50 gigabytes, which I didn't think that was terrible compared to all the other subscriptions that we pay. If you need more than 50, the 200 gigabytes is $2.99. But that's all you pay to store your pictures in your computer's program. The cost of Apple Photos is, it's included with your Mac. It's included on your phone. So Apple has done a nice job of tying things together. The problem is for people who may have an iPhone with a PC, well, that is difficult. And there are programs that make it easier to work those a PC computer with an iPhone. The other challenge is if you are an Android user, this is rare, an Android user and you use a Mac, well, then the Photos app is not going to work. So anyway, the program Apple Photos, you don't pay for. So that's like a bonus right off the bat. And I think it's a pretty powerful program if you use it routinely and you get used to all the tips and tricks of using it. So that leads me to the third software that I really like. So just to put it in context, Lightroom, I don't like so much. I don't like it. Apple Photos, I like a lot. And then there is the third program that I love, and it's called Mylio. And I do, again, have a longer video on Mylio on the YouTube channel. So I'm going to share the Mylio screen with you here, and then we are going to look at Mylio. The company was founded, I want to say less than 10 years ago, but the people who came over from Apple started Mylio. So these are software engineers that knew Apple's system, and I think they tried to make it better. And visually, it is really an amazing program. So let's just open it up here. And you are now seeing my photos, which happen to include some pictures from the Wisconsin Senior Olympics, which I do have, I'm a board member for them, so you're seeing some of that. This program does not have that left-hand panel. It did originally, and I actually liked it. I like having that left-hand panel, but in one of their updates, Mylio did change it a little bit, and they put the options across the top, and they're very simple. Now, anytime you look at all photos, it's really kind of hard to know what you're looking at. If you remember, I like folders and albums. So here is my folders. This is a demo folder, and my pictures are in folders here. And I love how this looks. I like the black background, and Mylio does allow you to change it to a white background, just like Photos lets you change it to a black background. So you do have options there, but I like the folders view. And moving pictures around in Mylio is pretty easy. And there is an albums option. I don't use this too much in Mylio because I feel like the albums are just a distraction here. Like where photos, you could have folders. I want to just put myself back up here. So in photos, you could have folders that contained albums. That's how Apple structured their program. Mylio allows you to have folders within folders. So I don't use the albums view, but some people might if they wanted to collect pictures for a special project like I had here for a cottage book or the graduation, things like that. So I've seen people do. Mylio also has the people option where you can identify people. So facial recognition is strong in here. It even has a map. Now, I will say Apple Photos has this too, but the map in Mylio just seems more robust to me. Now, the best part of all with Mylio is this calendar view. And whenever you load pictures into Mylio, it automatically sorts your pictures into years and then into months. And it creates this for you without you doing anything. It's really an amazing way to look at your memories. So if I go into 2013, now you're going to know I've only imported pictures from March. And then I have this picture I imported in July. Well, and I should probably clarify that. I'm not sure when I imported these pictures, but I know that is not a July 2013 picture, right? So let's click in there and we're going to see here it is on the 6th. And when I drill down to that date, July 6, 2013, I've got 3 photos here. Well, this is, again, a good example of why you would want to change the metadata of a picture. So I select the 3 of them, and I'm going to click on the date over in the right-hand panel, and I'm going to change this. I have a feeling this is more like 1900, and I'm going to just put January 1st because it's more of a generic date, 1900. So it's going to shift these pictures by a lot of years. So now it is out of my view here. And if I go back up here using this little arrow, and I just kind of go back, now if I scroll all the way down, and you'll see other pictures that have the correct date on them. If I scroll all the way down to 1900, there are these pictures here. Okay, so Mylio is a program that I have really enjoyed using. Now you might ask, why am I not using it solely right now? And it's because we always have a journey with our pictures, right? I used Mylio a lot about 5 years ago as my go-to program, but that was when I had a PC and an iPhone, and then I bought a Mac, and I've been just kind of moving along using photos, but every now and then I feel like Mylio is really where I'd like to get my pictures to. Someday I might demonstrate that journey from exporting pictures from the Photos app to Mylio. That probably would be interesting to show you how that's done. So Mylio has no cloud storage. It is a piece of software that is installed on your computer. So if you want to back it up, you can actually go to the top right here, and we'll just click on the computer sign here, and you can add devices. All right, so you can see I have an external hard drive. I can have my phone synced to this, so the pictures that are on my phone can sync automatically to Mylio on my computer. And you can add more devices. So that's how the backup occurs here. And Google Drive is even an option for you. So right now you're looking at my screen here, which shows that I have the free plan. The free plan, you can hold 5,000 pictures and you can have 3 devices. And that's a great way to test it out. If you want to actually import more photos, you are going to pay for the premium plan, which is $99 a year or $9.99 a month. And again, we are in that culture now, I think, where subscriptions are going to be the way software is purchased. So I don't think that $99 is terrible for a piece of software that can really help you enjoy working with your pictures. So I know this was really kind of a brief overview of all 3 of these, but if you didn't figure it out, Mylio is my favorite. I love it. And I feel like if you are committed to using it routinely, you will get so much out of the program. And we do have a code for 25% off. It's just Pixmylio if you wanted to use that. And now you know it's my favorite. If you use the code, we do get a little commission, I think, for that. And we appreciate it. So let me just go to a final screen here. And if you have questions, I really breezed through this, but if you have questions, put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. But in the meantime, I am going to do a couple things here because I'd like to wrap this up nicely for you. Is show you this screen here. And I have just an overview here of the programs that I spoke about. All right, so I talked about them in the order of how I feel. Lightroom is good. I think Lightroom is a good option. It's not terrible. And if you really like using Adobe products, it's a good thing to look into. And if you don't care about the albums and folders view, then I think it works pretty well. Apple Photos, it's great. It's free. It comes with your computer. It's fantastic. Even the cloud storage is really inexpensive at 99 cents a month. Mylio is just a premium program, and I like the people at the company. They answer my questions quickly. They have a community, so I think there's a lot there. I hope this all makes sense. Let's see. I do see a question. Let's show this from Chris. Oh, does Lightroom or Mylio have some sort of duplicate locator? And can you share albums? So that's a good question. Let us go back to Mylio does have the capacity to share, or excuse me, to identify duplicates. And I don't really have the, I don't have a good example because I don't have duplicates in Mylio right now, but it will notice it. You'll see duplicates come up, and I'm gonna have to come back to answering that question more specifically, Chris, because I have seen it. I just can't replicate it right now to show you how that works because I'm in a demo file with no duplicates. So I will get that question answered for you. Lightroom will not identify them in the program. It will notice if you're uploading or if you're importing exact duplicates. So if it's the same name, same file, it will notice that. So your question, you know, I feel like the Mylio has a better duplicate solution, and I'm gonna get back to you with a link just to demonstrate that. Sharing albums is important. Lightroom, it's definitely easier because Lightroom saves your pictures to the cloud and then you can get a link. Mylio, you have to export or you have to launch your mail client. So if we go to, let's just say I wanted to send this picture here. Let's make this bigger. When I click the arrow button, oh, that's import. All right. This is what happens when you juggle 3 programs and you're trying to remember all the features. Okay. Right here is this arrow, share selected items. Mylio allows you to email it, but it would launch your email client. You know, if you're using the mail app on your Mac, it would launch that. It could share it through messages. You can airdrop. That's nice. But if you wanted to actually copy a link, that it does not do unless you work with Flickr here. That it doesn't work. So sharing is a little more difficult with Mylio. You know, if you're looking for the link, all right. And I don't know how used to sharing albums people are, but when you're on your phone and you share, it's easier there sometimes than it is on a computer, especially if you're working with a program that's installed on the computer versus based in the cloud. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense, Chris? We'll see what she says here. While we kind of see if that sort of answered the question on sharing, does anyone else have any questions? I'm happy to answer them here and or circle back if need be. The main point of doing these classes is to help make sure that you're choosing a one digital home. I think that's so overwhelming sometimes for people, and we want to make sure you know what options are out there, because it's kind of a big decision. You don't want to import 50,000 pictures to realize you have the wrong program, right? So it looks like I answered Chris's question somewhat, except for that duplicates, how it's handled in Mylio, and I will circle back in that. And it is a lot to think about. It really is. So that's my goal here, to keep helping people. And I don't know that I'll be doing Monday nights for a bit because I'm working on this market research project. So I'm going to just put that little sign up here, and in case someone's catching this on the rebound, or if anyone here would like to do this, I'm going to post the link to the calendar, and I'd love to talk with you. There's just so many different experiences out there, and nobody is unique, but there are, but there's so many different, I guess everybody's unique. Let me rephrase that. Everybody's unique, and trying to figure out how to help everybody, knowing you have different computers, different phones, different skills, different preferences on how things look. It makes it a challenge for us to help you. So thank you so very much. And if there are no other questions, I'm going to sign off for tonight. And definitely here, I'll put my email in the comments here, and you'll have that. And you probably know how to get a hold of us through our website as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and we'll see you sometime the next time, okay? Oh, all right. Chris is happy to answer questions. Chris, thank you so much. And this was her idea to have this talked about. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys. Have a good rest of the evening, and have a wonderful Labor Day, okay? Bye-bye.